Taking a look at our photo montage on This Week in Football presented by Geico from an exciting Week 15. How about Miami taking down New England? The Dolphins building momentum. Jake Cutler comes back and then comes back to beat the Browns as the Bears pick up a big victory. The Eagles finally grounded by the Vikings, no less. What a disaster. I mean, what a disaster in Dallas. They blow a 26-3 lead in Tony Romo with typical late-game December interceptions as the Cowboys lose to the Packers.
True Giants fan. When your voice rises when you do that.
You know what? It's the Cowboys' tone. That's what they do to us. There's a special way you speak just for Tony, which takes us in perfectly to first down here on 4 Downs on This Week in Football. Who is to blame, Ross Tucker? Is it Tony Romo or the Dallas defense for what happened this past Sunday?
Well, this one's obvious, and it's not what I'm guessing these guys will say, which is the defense, because we already know the defense stinks. You go into the game knowing the defense stinks. They've got dudes playing defense in Dallas I've never heard of. That never happens, but that's who they have on the field in real NFL games. This is on Tony Romo. He's more to blame. He actually threw 3 interceptions in the fourth quarter, because that one that was overturned, that should not have been overturned. It's totally unacceptable for him to throw 3 interceptions in the fourth quarter. If you know the defense stinks, the franchise quarterback has to perform. He did not.
Gary?
I'd like to find a way to put this one on Jerry Jones, because I think a lot of what happens in Dallas in the last few years has been Jerry Jones' fault. But when you have a defense that allows Matt Flynn to put together 3 80-yard touchdown drives in the second half, I mean, that's inexcusable. But I happen to agree with Ross on this one. When you have a $100 million quarterback like Tony Romo, and he changes a play at the line of scrimmage that's supposed to be a run and leads to an interception that leads to Green Bay winning the game, it's on the quarterback. As bad as the defense is, they were in position to win that game. And just like he did against Denver, Romo always throws interceptions at the worst possible time.
I think DeMarco Murray was rushing for over 8 yards a carry. I think that if you have that in the game, I don't care who the quarterback is. You can bring back all the greats and let them play in the same team. You just keep handing the ball off. I don't understand what happened.
Yeah, I mean, you know what? You're right about that, too. They had a sequence where 14 of 15 plays were passes at the end of the third quarter to the end of the fourth when they had that big lead and watched it evaporate. Ross won that round. Let's go to second down right now. And the question, Gary, of whether or not Jay Cutler bringing him back was the right decision by the Chicago Bears.
Without question, it was the right decision. If the Bears have any ideas about going deep into the playoffs, which I'm sure they do, it has to be with Jay Cutler. He is their franchise quarterback. Josh McCown did a really nice job filling in for him, but they weren't going to do much business in the playoffs, or maybe not even get into the playoffs with him as their quarterback. And Cutler, you know, is so motivated right now. That was my attempt to do your voice there a little bit. Because
you failed, but go ahead.
I know. Terrible. Because he's a free agent after the season, and he's playing for a big new contract with somebody.
I think it's even more than I think Jay Cutler is the best option for him. I think he has the most talent. He has the most ability. And I think, you know, Josh did a good job, but he did his role. You fill in and wait for your guy to come back, and he came back, and he came back in a big way. Throws a couple of interceptions. The Twitter world blows up, even though Jay can't see that. But the Twitter world blows up, and all of a sudden, he brings the team back, and he wins the game.
Let me ask you this before we get to Ross. Now, if Phil Simms had been ready, would you have been okay with him taking over for Jeff Hostetler during that run? Yeah?
Absolutely.
Okay. All right.
Absolutely.
Fair enough. Conviction there. Ross, what do you say about the Cutler
1990 Giants.
Yeah, that's right.
As usual, as happens to be the case a lot today, both these guys are wrong. This was absolutely the wrong move. Josh McCown was playing at a level that Jay Cutler has never played at. Jay threw 2 horrific interceptions. He's beyond lucky, and he admitted as such that he didn't throw a 3rd interception on Alshon Jeffrey's catch because Gibson totally misplayed the football. Give Jay credit. He was very good on 3rd down. He led them back to the victory. He deserves kudos for that. But he's still not playing as well as Josh McCown has. And even the Chicago Bears players I've spoken to have told me that the offense just runs smoother when McCown is in the game.
Wow. All right. Strong
Boom.
stuff.
Sources.
I'll tell you what.
Gary.
Ross is bringing it in 4 downs. Here we go to 3rd down right now. And the question concerning Kirk Cousins is, what do you do with him if you're Washington, Howard?
Well, right now, I try to get anything I can get for him. You don't know how well he's going to play. You hope that he's going to play well. You think you got a commodity, and you got a few teams in the NFL that don't really trust the NFL draft. You got a guy, let him play a couple more games. Let him get out there, and that's what they're doing right now. Give him a chance to audition. Let him play as well as possible. Put him in the best position you can put him in so that you can get something for him, because you don't have a first-round pick. So you need to get as many picks as you can for a guy that's not going to play for you.
This is a tough one for me, because I think there's a chance that Kirk Cousins is better than RG3 now, because I don't know if RG3 will ever get back to his offensive rookie of the year form. He was not as fast. He's not a great just in the pocket passing quarterback. But here's the thing. Because I think Cousins might be better than RG3, that's probably why they should trade Kirk Cousins, because RG3 is going to be the guy. I don't think you want that controversy of keeping Kirk Cousins around, because the fans, they're not stupid. They see what's going on. And if RG3 and Cousins are both on this roster next year, and RG3 struggles even a little bit, everybody's going to be calling for Kirk Cousins. It could get ugly in Washington.
It's been so bizarre in Washington the last few weeks, and the only good thing that can come out of the rest of the season is if Kirk Cousins plays lights out and really increases his market value, because as Howard said, the Redskins don't have their first-round pick next year. It's the last installment in the RG3 trade. It could wind up to be the first pick in the draft. They have to do something to replenish some of those picks. I think if Cousins plays really well in the last 2 weeks, because he played well the other day, they could wind up getting a second-rounder for him.
Packers have stemmed the tide here after losing a gazillion games in a row and a tie in there. Now they're building some wins, may get Aaron Rodgers back. Gary, they control their own destiny in the NFC North. Are they poised to make a serious playoff run?
Well, sure. If you can assure me that Aaron Rodgers will be back and he's playing at the level he was before he got hurt, I think they'll win that division, and they'll be a tough out in the playoffs. It all depends on Rodgers' health.
No. I don't think so. They're not very good. Their defense is in fact, very poor. And they'd be an underdog, in my mind, to whoever they play in the wild card, whether it's the Panthers, the Niners, or the Saints. Then in the second round, same thing. No, there's no playoff run in Green Bay. They're not good enough. Rodgers or not.
Panthers, Niners, and Saints all beat the Packers.
Wow.
Correct.
And how about the Seahawks, too? I think they're
don't
pretty good as well.
They won't even get to the Seahawks.
No, I think you're right. They
Aaron
probably
Rodgers don't want to play him.
Congratulations to Ross Tucker.
Yes.
He is our winner of 4 downs today.